Alright, Marvel Legends collectors, we are back again today with another Marvel Legends action figure review of the Gamerverse Miles Morales from the new No Way Home Armadillo wave. This guy is probably one of the figures in the wave I was the most excited for, and I'm guessing mostly everyone's going to be excited for this guy because he looks amazing. So the packaging, again, typical Gamerverse packaging we've seen before. Some other figures, cool art on the side and on the back. Little read up there. You can pause that when my camera focuses. There you go. And then on the bottom, you get the whole lineup of the wave. And if you're curious if this guy's in stock at your store, there's the barcode. But without further ado, let's take a look at Miles Morales. So first off, he does come with the left leg of Armadillo, and one side is pinless, the other is not, but no need to talk about that too much. So first up, we have two whipping hands, which look really good. They match the red that's actually on his mask more so than this like darker red here. That's also very shiny looking, looks beautiful, and great texturing. But this red is a little bit brighter and is still a bit brighter than what we see here, at least from my perspective. And the camera looks a little bit better, but from where I'm sitting, it's still a little too bright. And then we have two wall crawling hands, which look phenomenal. I mean, really good texturing, great sculpting. Again, the red is a little bright in my opinion, but looks, just the sculpting is amazing. The paintwork is pretty good. If you put his hand down there, you can see a few little spots. You can see a red spot right there on the top of his hand. But aside from that, it's pretty good. A little bit of paint issues there on the knuckle. On this hand, nothing too crazy. But you can just tell that there's like some kind of printing. I don't know. It just looks phenomenal, though. I love the texturing on the suit. Then we have two fisted hands, of course. Again, we see some great sculpt work on the top on this like more armored piece here, and again some pretty decent paint work. Honestly, I don't think it's too bad. I'm trying to get my camera to focus here, but again, the texturing is great, the sculpting is great, and the proportions are just fantastic. A little bit of paint issues there, as you can see, a little bit of black there, some red going through, but honestly it's nothing major. It looks really good for the most part. Then lastly, we have these like electric hands here that just looks so dope, man. If you didn't know, two of Miles Morales' powers that are different than Peter Parker's original Spider-Man is he has these electric kind of powers, and he also can turn invisible, which is pretty dope. But this looks really, really good. I love the yellow colors, and I love the lightning coming off the top. And again, we actually see sculpting on here. Like, how great is that, man? Really beautiful attention to detail. Really awesome accessories. And then lastly, for accessories, we have the Miles Morales unmasked head, and it looks a hell of a lot like the one we actually see in the game. It looks really, really good. The printing is great, the pupils look good, the skin tone is fantastic, the hair looks good. This is a great, great Miles Morales head sculpt, and probably the best one we've gotten, in my opinion. Unfortunately, I don't have the other one to show, but I did own it at one point, and I adored this. This is like my essential Miles Morales Spider-Man at the moment. Very, very good job on the head sculpt. Again, just, God, it looks so much like the game. It's uncanny. Beautiful. Okay, so finally we're just to the figure bare bones. Now, if you haven't played Spider-Man PS4, spoiler alert, and make sure you go play it. I mean, are you living under a rock, dude? Go get the PlayStation, play this goddamn game. It's so good. But this guy, his father is killed by Mr. Negative. He gets, how the hell does he get bit by a spider? It's at Feast, I believe. He actually gets bit by the spider in the game. And he gets Peter Parker's powers. By the end of the game, he's training. He has his own spin-off series where he fights the Tinkerer. I won't spoil anything about that, but he's a really great version of Miles Morales, a very fun character to play as, who's really learning, you know, the ropes and becoming Spider-Man, and it's so much fun to see, and I'm so glad we have this figure. Looking at the PS4 Spidey, I don't own him, unfortunately. He's kind of expensive on the aftermarket. Last time I checked, it was like $50, might even be more, maybe less. But that figure isn't really as good looking as this guy. The sculpting and the texturing, the paintwork just isn't there like it is on this one. And I'm sure they will redo that at some point, and I really hope they do so we can put him alongside this Spider-Man. Because honestly, in my humble opinion, I think this is probably one of the best sculpted Spider-Man figures I have seen to date out of the Marvel Legends line, including Toy Biz and Hasbro. This guy is absolutely fantastic. Looking at the head sculpt, you can see again the texturing throughout the suit is just insane. It's almost like lines are wrapping around. Then of course you have the nice web lines, and the paint there is beautiful. The eyes, the paint there is just incredible, dude. Oh, just amazing. Beautiful, beautiful work done here. I don't know why there's a line in the neck there. I don't know if at some point they plan to like have a skin tone neck that you could interchange. I'm not totally sure. It doesn't really rotate much, so I'm not sure what purpose it really serves at this point. But again, there's really good texturing throughout the suit. Like, it reminds you of like an import figure or something. And the paint work is really dope, man. The way it glistens, it looks shiny, like an armor almost. It's just phenomenal. Some of the best work I've seen on a Spidey. Spider symbol looks really, really good. The paint is phenomenal there. Line work is all really good. Shoulder pads have a few paint problems. You can see some black coming through, especially on this one here, right in the seam there. But yeah, on the shoulders here, we do have the butterfly joints, and on those, I don't really see any paint problems that are, you know, major. And on the back side, I don't, there, that's a problem. So a little bit of scuffing there, and you can see some paint there that looks a little wonky. And a little spotting here and there, kind of a bummer. That arm, you can see a bummer, and this is also unfortunate as well. That kind of sucks. But fortunately, we're all going to be looking at his front more than his back. I don't know. But then again, he is Spider-Man. He's supposed to be flexible as hell, all kinds of cool posing capabilities. That's a little ugly. I'm not sure if that's accurate to the game. I'm really guessing it's not, though. And it doesn't look like these line up unless he's standing completely straight either. So it's a bit of a bummer. I do have a red spot there too, all right on his butt cheek. But aside from that, the sculpting again looks really good on the costume. All this line work here, a little bit of padding there, right under his ribs, and then line going down here, and more line work down on the legs, and really good texturing on the inside there. Oh, it literally looks like breathable spandex. It looks awesome. And on the feet there, you got some great sculpting, and again, paint problems here. See, they painted the red here. Looks okay. There's a little black there. And it's like it totally got missed right there. So I will end up touching that up for sure, especially that spot. And I'll probably just go over that with some black, like a bit of a lighter black maybe. But aside from that, the hands are pretty consistent with the outfit. The head sculpt is absolutely just like a knockout punch. It's so good. And I'm very pleased overall. The sculpting is a strong point. There is pinless joints on this guy, and the paint work is really where it kind of gets knocked a bit, especially on the feet and the back side more so. And the hands definitely have some, you know, blotchy paint. My figure's pretty good on the chest and the butterfly joints on the front side. I'm not sure how others look. I have not watched any other reviews. Say this on the shoulder there, there's some more paint problems. So I'll have to touch that up with black. I will end up touching this guy up completely probably in any spot that's messed up. That's really a bummer, a little bit of paint bleeding there. But this guy's a really strong figure, just a few little paint problems. So looking at the articulation, his head goes up incredibly far. They're really perfecting this dumbbell joint. Beautiful. He does have butterfly joints as well. His head also goes down, also has that pivot and that organic movement. The butterfly joints are smaller, so they don't go like crazy far back and forward, but enough to look realistic. The arms, if you push them down a little bit, go up about that far, I want to say. This one almost, they both, nothing too crazy. Goes all the way around. There is a bicep swivel, of course. Double jointed elbows. Hinged hands, rotatable wrists. Of course, there are horizontal hinges on every single version of each hand. There is an ab crunch here, no swivels or anything. And the line work here is great. This is all very consistent, but the back side is a bummer. But there's a really great range of motion here. I'm very pleased with that. Beautiful. Obviously, rotation at the waist. I really wish they had that little swivel pivot thing going on, that cut at the diaphragm. The legs go out about that far and out about this far. They don't go back too far because of his ass. There's a rotation here at the thigh, double jointed knees. No rotation below the knees, but there is a hinge. Very good. And a pivot. When I popped this guy out of the package though, this foot was really, really stiff. And I'll just say this, warm him up in some hot water. Just get a bowl of hot water, leave him in there for 5-10 minutes. And make sure when you're pushing it, you're pushing at the base of the foot. So you're not putting any pressure on that peg in there that goes right in there and then snapping it. You don't want to push it from here, but push it from the base of the foot if you can, just to make sure your figure doesn't break. But otherwise, the articulation is pretty fantastic. So here he is next to the superposable Tobey Maguire Spider-Man from Spider-Man 2. This is the Spider-Man Origins version line with the Doc Ock. It's a 2-pack. Pretty dope. These guys actually go together pretty well. The articulation looks a little dated on him, obviously. Still pretty great, but just overall the paint and the sculpt, they kind of blend well. Then here he is next to the 80th anniversary cap. Can't wait for the 20th Toybus anniversary cap. And here he is next to Ironheart Riri Williams. And the heights are all very consistent. They all look spectacular together. Then here he is next to my Tom Holland Civil War 3-pack Spidey with some really crappy twisty ties. And he's a little bit taller than him. Then here he is next to the modular Iron Man and the Spider-Man 1 superposable Spidey. And he's one of my favorite Spideys. And again, I feel like these guys go together pretty damn well. And he's also lining up really well height-wise with the modular Iron Man. And here he is next to Ironmonger, just for fun. Okay, so at the end of the day, I think this guy is a really, really strong Spider-Man figure overall. Miles Morales figures, as far as they go, he's the best. Easily, in my opinion. I do think he has some paint issues. If you're skilled with painting, you'll really have no problem just touching this guy up. If you're not, you might have an issue with this, but the paint problems aren't major enough to be a big deal for me anyways. I do think his strong points though are the sculpt, the texture, the proportions, and the accessories, man, are just phenomenal. So I think if you want to complete the Armadillo wave, this is a must-have figure, and it's going to be one of the best, I hope. I think he's absolutely fantastic. Highly, highly recommend. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to this video. Make sure to comment down below. Let me know what your favorite Spider-Man figure is. And if you have the Miles Morales figure, what do you think of him, and how does he hold up compared to the rest of the wave? Thanks for watching, guys. Stay happy, stay healthy, keep collecting, and get a vaccine.